All right, good morning. It's 6 something in the morning. Yeah, 6:36. Yeah, it took a little longer to make my coffee. I apologize for that. Today I went ape crazy and put ghee and almond milk together in the same cup. So it took a little longer. Thank you for your patience. But let's get on with it. Welcome to QuantBox Live, where we uncover the best fundamental opportunities. I've been working hours and hours and hours reviewing the new updated AI for QuantBox that actually reads all of these different resources that QuantBox produces. And now we are teaching it essentially how to write for you. And and I'm not talking, it's not going to write essays, but it still has to write something, okay, in the English language. And I want it, the message from this AI that tells you that something on QuantBox, something important on QuantBox has changed. I want to be so simple, like this went slightly more bullish. That's it. Like this went from an 8 to a 9. Very, 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 very simple. But we're in that process. So pretty soon, um, very soon, maybe as early as later this week, those that signed up for the new AI alert service will be able to at least get emails. I'm thinking maybe a daily summary and maybe like a weekly COT. But we're also looking at the logic of it looks through what's changed. And there's a logic that says this one piece of information in all the different pieces that have changed needs to be sent to members now instantly via SMS text message. And the other stuff can wait. You can see like, well, that's a challenge in of itself, right? To be able to prioritize and stuff. So we're working on that now. So anyway, so maybe emails can start going out later this week. So just heads up on that. Spending a lot of time on that. Weeks, in fact, weeks and weeks and weeks, 5 weeks worth of development work. And that's where we are now on that. So anyways, let's get on with it. I'm an economist. I love QuantBox. In fact, I made it because, I used to manually, with a spreadsheet, look at things like GDP, inflation, employment, so on and so forth, and then the changes in these numbers. And I used to gather them from the web and put them into the spreadsheet manually. And it's just too much work. Ultimately, that was the job of the economist to track GDP and the change, inflation and the change, which is old minus new. Or is it new minus old over old? No, new minus new over new. I always get it mixed up. So plug it in, have the machine automate everything. So it's logging into all these wonderful databases, looking at economic data. It's gathering sentiment from institutional investors as well as retail. It's looking at seasonality, which is what normally happens this month or even this week based on 20 years of analysis. It's looking at technical trends. Very cool. And by the way, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these targets because they don't match up with these targets. It's a different logic, and I don't like the logic. And it's too hard to do the linear projection to this stuff. Because think about this. If we do linear projection, I would have base case, best case, worst case. But depending on the direction, you would have to flip base case, worst case, and best case from best case to worst case. All of a sudden, the logic of that's iffy. Okay, so I don't want to do that. So I think the compromise is I'm going to put a short-term score and either medium or long-term gauged. So you just have two gauges. So you can look at this and see now and then later and be able to look at them. And I think that's a good use of that space. Just again, because we're doing so many things in the background, upgrades are happening as we speak. So anyways, look, you need this. You absolutely, totally need this. It's absolutely imperative if you are going to have trades worthy of bigger returns, worthy of letting your winners run. You can guess, or you can have confidence based on the research that led you to make these investment decisions, if you can just have enough confidence to let your winners run, you get to the next level of your investing and trading. So, anyways, let's go. Let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So, for those that are on YouTube, you are watching many hours late. You should probably just join QuantBox.co. Here's the latest video. I think that's the latest. I don't know what date it is. It's pretty recent. It's the 18th. All right, cool. Yeah, that part I understand as far as the slope, but turning where it prints and changing, because now you have to like change the logic of the word. Is this best case or is this worst case? And you're just, it's more formulas and just it's another thing that can break. Okay, Jess, it's just one other thing that can break. And imagine you have them on dozens of different pages now. Each one individually could break. I mean, yeah. So just give me the damn gauge, right? So anyways, this could change. We could do this like daily and weekly gauges, or daily and monthly gauges. You tell me. I can do it. I literally have to make that decision. Do you want daily, weekly, or daily, monthly? Okay, that was discussed with the team yesterday. All right, so we're still below 4.0. Good. Oil, remember the target for oil was 75, and we're at 75. Oh, it was such a good one, right? We had the bounce on the pivot, then we had the higher high, then we had the higher lows. That set up, and now we're into the higher high. Very cool. Okay, gold hasn't done anything. I think it was exactly 2048. Remember, these are gold futures, not your spot price. S&P 500, another up day. Boy, we are so close to target. So close. So close to target. Back to 110 on the Euro buck. And Bitcoin back at 43. Had a big day yesterday. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see we got a correlation breakdown now, but not by the Nikkei, but the FTSE's in trouble again. Everything's going up except the UK. Wow. I mean, there's a little up, but you can see more recently over the last week, it's definitely been underperformer. Definitely been an underperformer. Not doing good, UK. By the way, yesterday I did the week on the street over at Investor Bootcamp, and that's where we actually read the reports and sometimes the speeches and the meeting minutes. We literally go to the central bank website, grab the report, and read it. Somebody at the Bank of England has taken over their speeches and their writing, and it's atrocious. It's atrocious. So I laugh. I'm like, what do you think? Oxford, Cambridge, or London Community College, right? Yeah. London Community College. Yeah. It's really terrible. So, anyways, that's their problem. Well, right, just as like Chat GPT, it's a lot like that if you read everything and then you realize it didn't say anything. Words and words and more words. It's really weird where they're like, All these things are horrible, but everything's good. The economy's crashing, but we're not going to go into negative GDP. I'm like, like none of this makes any sense, right? Everything's good, everybody. Yeah. So you're like, wait, these words actually don't add up. Like it's bad math. So anyways, I really dislike the new person in charge of writing, but anyways. Mixed, and so nothing's really changed. Okay, there's still a cautionary tale here. Okay, yen is still freaking out. Okay, there's a bit of a bid on a gold. I mean, maybe you disagree with this, but it's very quickly not moving anywhere, as they would say at the Bank of England. It's very quickly doing nothing. You're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, look, it's just literally a cautionary tale. Be careful. Be careful out there right now. Um, it's trendless, which means it's friendless. The trend is your friend, right? Well, you're out there in the market full of pickpockets, so you got to be careful. Oil's up, Japanese stock market's up. Very cool. S&P 500, and it looks like FTSE did have a decent morning so far, so that's good. Got to bring that up. DAX not so good, but everybody else is golden. So, like for example, let's just look at these. Everything's fine. Nasdaq and I believe even Dow are just down ever so slightly, about the same 0.2%. Waiting for the open. Um, but some of these assets, and I guess we should probably go through them today since it's important, are right at the projected highs. They're very, very close. So it's the next level, let's say the next wave of profit taking, right? Maybe next. There's different people taking profit for different reasons. And the next wave of people would have the justification. It's very soon, maybe later today, or maybe it was already yesterday. It's just the data provider, Jess, using futures instead of spot. Yeah. Like I use a different data provider for tradeplans.ai, and they have different data. um, but their oil is very iffy. So I can't get consistent oil data. So I therefore I don't use it. Yeah. But you're only as good as your data provider, and the best data providers, because they all say we're the best data provider. Then you download the data and you're like, wait, there's holes all through this data. Yeah. And you're like, why? What's the big deal? It's only missing 3 minutes every day. You're like, yeah, well, 3 minutes matters. Anyways, it's only data. Okay. Remember, not in this case, nothing on QuantBox is meant to be a trade alert. So it shouldn't matter whether we use spot or futures price. What we need to know is money moving toward gold or away from gold. That's what we need. And it's been flat. We've been stuck there for a while. Yeah. Was that right? Yeah. Hmm. So let's get rid of the indices. Okay, and then you can see oil's a big day. Remember, yesterday I set up the long, and to get us to 75 something, but 75. And we're pretty much there. We'll take a look and see if there's likely to be profit taking today on that, but that's already up. Remember, this is an important part of QuantBox. It's up. It doesn't mean it's a buy today. Yesterday, when it was down here in the neutral zone, I set up a trade plan at investorbootcamp.com. based on trend analysis and such, and said it, it looks like at that price it could be a buy and it would go up to 75. So now it's at 75. It already happened. So some of these things that are unexpected could be tomorrow's trades. Okay. But this has happened and you should know. And according to QuantBox, it has a score of +5. It's supposed to be up and it is up. There you go. That's why I bought it yesterday. Not the only reason, but yesterday it was down, but it was bullish. Okay. Now it's up, so it already happened. So be very careful. We'll take out crypto, we'll take out commodities. And now we just have forex, and it's a very steep curve, very, very steep, which isn't, I mean, it's a little too steep, which means, look, let's try to break this down. Kiwi, Swissy, Aussie, Swissy, CAD, Swissy. Is it possible that there's some Swissy going on here? Well, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, okay, Kiwi CAD, Aussie CAD. So there's definitely some Aussie and Kiwi stuff going on here. And then the flip side, Kiwi, Kiwi, Aussie, Aussie. Okay. And look, they're about the same. Kiwi's just ever so slightly stronger. So those are big movers today, Aussie and Kiwi, huh? All right, so I want to jump right to the charts then, because I wanted to cover a couple of things today and then let you go. What should we do? The stock market. Let's go to the stock market. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, so let's back up. The gray zone there is the target for December. We have just hit the conservative target for the month of December for Dow. Is it possible people are now done for the year? And I mean, anything's possible. So let's say, is it probable? Is it likely? Is it logical to think that some of those that have been long the Dow have now hit their target and they can feel done? It's holidays, man. It's holidays. Okay. If you're going to take a profit, that would be it. Now, there's a better price in which you can take profit, and that's a cluster between weekly and monthly. So really 38,000 is the number, but 37,500 is good enough. Truly is. Okay. And this has been long, okay, since November 2nd. That's it. Is it bearish yet? No. So you could just stick with it. It's your call. But this has been bullish since November 2nd. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You might want to think about the pressure of UN profit taking. Okay. Okay, now we take a look at the S&P 500, which is balanced. So when you look at the Dow, I want you to think value stocks. When you look at the S&P 500, I want you to think of it as a balanced portfolio of both value and growth. And today's target is basically the out price, 4,800. Okay, so it's actually, here's today's target. If today's an update, that's the target. Here's the weekly target. And this is the monthly target. So what do you think? Is there resistance up there, daily, weekly, and monthly? Yeah. So it could pop up, and the higher it goes, the closer to 4,800, the more likely it won't go above it, 4,800. Or it's going to come all the way down here, but then we run out of time, I think, because some people are going to take Friday off. Again, people are trying to find reasons to go home and spend time with their family. So, yeah, we're getting close, right? So keep an eye on that for the S&P 500, and we're not quite there. This asset's been long bullish since the 2nd of November. Wait, the exact same day as the Dow? Uh-huh. They're correlated. The only difference is the beta. Okay. Cool. So here's NASI. Okay. And it's been bullish since the 8th of December. It got caught in the sideways for a while. This is part of that rotation. So remember, even though it's going up, you could have less people buying. And in this period, I was talking about money coming out of the top performers like the Magnificent Seven. By the way, that Magnificent Seven during this period were coming down. That money was going into the Dow. Dow was already at target. S&P 500 is not at target because the money didn't come out of NASDAQ and into S&P. It went into Dow. And so that's rotation. Okay. So money came out of NASI. Okay. And went to Dow. And in some period in the next 3 months, it'll come back to NASI. It's rotation. Okay. It's an issue of risk performance. So let's change this template into a cluster, confluence, daily confluence, and I'll do it with a bullish bias. Okay. And our target is just ever so high. Okay. So, okay, here's the monthly conservative target and the weekly conservative target. They're overlapping perfectly. Here's the weekly aggressive, and the monthly aggressive is, I think we're just catching it. Okay. And daily says we're not going to get it today. Okay. So if Dow comes down today, it might drag all these other things down too. So I'm just saying, be ready for it. Be ready for it. Don't be shocked. Okay. Stay with it, but don't be shocked if we're close to a top. It should be a little higher, I would think. Okay. Like a little higher would be better. And the Santa Claus rally is late next week, isn't it? But I wouldn't think that way. Don't overthink it. I think there's too much emphasis on a Santa Claus rally, and it might be a mirage. It might be there, but I would never plan for it. Okay. Yeah. So we have our technical analysis, we have our fundamental analysis. That's the truth. Santa Claus rallies and all these other things, don't like them. I don't like them at all. Right? These rules of thumb, no, because most of the time the rules of thumb are wrong. So yeah, we have an uptrend and we have resistance above us. Great. More likely Dow is going to go to 38. and these are going to come up to 48 and 17, and then we'll have a problem. Yeah. And then I want to cover oil, and then I'll go let you have a wonderful trading day. So this goes back quite some time now. We set this up on December 13th, 14th, so Wednesday of last week. We'll just thread it together. And I'm just showing you now, like, don't use QuantBox in such a way that you see something has moved a lot, so now you want to buy it. No, that stinks of amateurism. It's happened. Okay, great. Where were you yesterday? Okay. What you need to do is look at the longer term fundamentals and then line up things that are mispriced. So you, right? So, anyway, so we had the big up, and all you need to notice in this situation is the higher high. You don't have to like predict that. Aha, I predicted that. No, 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 no. That's not the key to success. Noticing that it made a higher high is what's important. So the next part of the logic is a higher low. That I picked out this price and this price, plan A and plan B. Like one of those will be respected and one of those is a buy. Okay. Now we know we came down, we tested A. Now A was supposed to go higher, but what we hit instead of the aggressive target, it hit the conservative target and stopped. Okay, fine. So that's a trade. Then it came down and it hit the role reversal. Once again, another form very similar to the A and B. When you get a higher high, you need to project where you think the next higher low will be. That's why I have A could be a higher low and B could be a higher low based on trading logic and strategy. In this case, using pivot points. But you could also use Fibonacci. You could also use all kinds of things. They're all going to tell you the same thing, just using different levels of, or different types of math. So once again, we got a higher high, and this was, I suppose, Monday. Today is Wednesday, so that makes sense. So the new higher low is here. On right, this was resistance, this was resistance, this was resistance, this was resistance. Okay, now this price should be support. Okay, cool. So when you get a move like that, you plan to, right? Oops, I wanted that in pink. The plan yesterday was we were here and the buy is up, and maybe we can get to that original higher high target that we had from several days ago. Actually, last week, since last week. And yeah, now we're riding at 21. And here's the target we set Thursday. I think it was Thursday of last week. I had plan A going to 75.30. We're at 74.65. We're getting pretty gosh darn close, is what I'm trying to say. Cool. Nice. So when you look at scatter plot, for example, on the lower part of this scatter plot, it says everything over here is horrible, negative 10 scores. Everything over here is awesome, plus 10 scores. And somewhere in the middle is 0. And so when you see something that's plus 8, I'm just making up a number, but today it's down, it's going to appear in this quadrant. Remember the scatter plot? It's 4 quadrants, right? So anything over here says it's having a down day, because this is, how is the market performing today? Is it up or is it down? So you might find oil down, oil, but it should be up. And that's how you need to look for this. Actually, it wouldn't be over there, would it? Sorry. It would be over here. It's got a big score, oil, but it's down today. So it's in this, right? If it's down, so this is 0. If it's down, but with a positive score, It's down with a positive score. Okay, that's oil. Okay, then what you need to look at using technical analysis and decide as an investor and trader, if oil's down today but it has a strong positive score, what does the chart show you technically? And now go back to this chart. If oil's down and at this price after a higher high, right? If it's a higher low after a higher high, then your job is to get oil to the upper quadrant, and oil's over here today, but yesterday it was down there, and that's how you use QuantBox. That's how you use the scatter plot. So don't look at it to confirm, oh yeah, oil's up today. Of course it is. Of course it is. Right? Of course it is. But it wasn't yesterday, and that was your opportunity. Okay? So use it right. It's complicated, these tools, but you got to use them right. Okay? You don't want to be a plumber using a hammer all day. You're going to get wet. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Hey, YouTube, sign up. Take the $8 trial. You know you want it. Kick down, come clean. Don't be a holdout machine. I got to go work on some AI. I might see you over at the next live stream on YouTube. Cool. Cheers.